Right.
All right, everyone. I just want to step in very quickly here again. If you all are just now joining, my name is Danette Moss, and I'm honored to introduce to everyone here the awesome Rick Hardon. He's that man who is what, Rick? Allergic to broke. If you all hadn't seen his shirt yet, he truly is. And he's truly a mentor to me in this awesome business in WR. I'm still new at it, learning it, but I'm truly honored to be part of this team with he and Chuck. I know he's getting ready to give us a wealth of knowledge. So let's get ready to get down to business, you guys, and get this information that Rick is bringing here to the table today. Go ahead, Rick.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, first, before I jump in, before I get started, I want to thank Danette Moss, number one, for that awesome introduction, but more importantly, for her dedication and commitment in difficult times. I know that for all of us around the country right now, there's exceptional things happening in the general population, but Danette has set herself apart as a business strategist and catalyst, helping people to have the strategies to succeed in their business. Before I say anything about myself or the information I want to share this evening, y'all give it up for Ms. Danette Moss. Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is sign language for applause right here. If you're on mute, all you gotta do is show them your hands. And, you know, for all the great things that Danette said about me, I do want to make sure to be transparent and honest about both where I was before I found the information I'll share today, and more importantly, the importance of what we're doing in the times that we're facing right now. By way of background, I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm actually one of those few people native to the Atlanta, Georgia area. And I was taught the same things that most of you were probably taught where you were from. I was told to go to school and get good grades. How many of you were told those things? And then after going to school, getting good grades, I go to college, get a good job with benefits, and live happily ever after. And I did those things to the best of my ability. Actually graduated the top of my class from Frederick Douglass High School, was valedictorian, star student. I knew I was smart and I wanted to be successful. Got an academic scholarship to Duke University. And at Duke, I was a double major. I double majored in electrical engineering and computer science, over 17 courses in advanced mathematics, and got out there into the working world and realized I hadn't been taught the things that I really wanted to know to get what I wanted, which was success. And just found myself in that frustrated place where even though I was working and making money and then making more money, I always felt like we never had enough, especially after we started having kids. Our kids had things that they legitimately wanted that would make their lives better. And it's the hardest thing as a man to tell you, look your babies in the eye and say, daddy doesn't have it. I don't got it. I can't do it. So in that frustration, I found myself just reaching out, understanding that there were people creating the kind of success that I wanted. It didn't have anything to do with their degrees, but it did have to do with understanding some principles. And those are the things I'm going to share with you this evening. Now, as we go through the conversation, take notes, find something to write down the things I'm going to share, because it's going to be a short conversation. But if you take notes, and then more important than taking notes, take action in implementing these strategies in your life, you too can get to the place where you can corona-proof your cash flow. Because let's face it, right now, in my population of friends, 0% of the people that I know personally have been infected by the coronavirus. But 100% of the people I know have had their income, their economy, and their job prospects affected by the coronavirus. And just being out of control puts you in a place where you're at the whims of the market, the employers, and many people find themselves at home anyway. We want to show a strategy to help people go from where they are to where they want to be financially. And it's through a process we'll call the financial countdown. Now, I am going to share some slides from my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen, okay? Oops, let's see. I got to share it first, don't I? Hang on a second. All right. So, MWR Financial, countdown to financial freedom. If you want to understand and win a game, it's first understanding the nature of the game that's being played and the place where we are in life. When I think about the education that I received, for all the classes that I took in calculus and Boolean algebra, philosophy, statistics, all the mathematical operations that I knew, one of the things that was never taught was the financial strategies necessary to reach freedom financially. So if you're writing your notes on paper, I want you to just write down on the side the number 4, make at least 4 lines down from there. Number 3, 2, and 1. 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown. When I'm to 1, you'll know that I'm done for today. But just understanding that everybody in America faces 4 financial challenges when it comes to money. I remember vividly my first job coming out of college was working in the information technology field as a consultant. I was making $36,000 a year, very quickly grew to a 6-figure income, but found that both at $36,000 and at 6 figures, there was almost little or nothing left in the bank every single month. And in that frustration, I just didn't understand why this was happening to me. It seemed like the more money I made, the more money they took. Can anybody relate? And it's understanding 2 things. So 4 challenges. Challenge number 1 is what we call inflation. So under number 4 challenges, challenge number 1 is inflation. We call it the silent income killer. And what it simply means is that the value of a dollar goes down over time, and it consistently has lost value by about 4% per year. And the best analogy that I have for it in my life is my experience at the gas pump. I remember when I started driving, you could buy gas on Riverdale Road in Atlanta down by the airport for $79.9 a gallon. I could fill up the entire yellow Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme with a $20 bill and still have some money left for snacks or food. Now, with gas prices even in the rebound and down, if you put $20 in the tank, you're only getting a third or less of gas. Now, it turns out that gas isn't the only thing that got that raise in price. When gas went up, everything else in the supply chain went up because businesses passed on the cost to us as consumers. So when the farmer who had the tractors that was making the food got an increase in the price of his gas, he passed on that price to the grocer who passed it on to us. So bread got a raise, milk got a raise, eggs got a raise. But how many of us have had those years where we didn't get a raise? So already out the gate, the dollar's worth less every day. And I'm not saying that all inflation is bad. You just have to position yourself to profit as a business owner or an owner of the businesses when inflation hits. Now, the second thing everyone can relate to is taxes. We call taxes the chainsaw massacre. Challenge number 2, the chainsaw massacre. And the average American spends off the top 1/3 of their taxes between federal and state income taxes before they ever see a penny. They go to work hard all day, and at the end of the day, they get their net pay. So there's a difference between that gross and the net. And usually that big difference is what makes us feel gross. As a matter of fact, I was reading an article today that shared that over the course of their lifetime, not only are we taxed off the top, but everything else in our lives that has value and meaning is taxed as well. In addition to income tax, you got property taxes, ad valorem taxes, sales taxes. Every dollar that's paid after taxes is still taxed to the point where taxes are actually the biggest expense in your home. I know many people think it's their mortgage or their kids spend too much. No, it is taxes that take up the first third of the average person's income and then cause the next challenge, which is debt. We call this the family curse. And it's because of the sinister cycle that debt puts one into. See, the interest that we pay on things that we owe takes up the next third of the average American's income. So that if you think about it, even the things that we need most to live, our homes, you can't think of someone having a home without a mortgage, a car without a note, a student without a loan, or credit without a credit card. And by virtue of that overspending in debt, we lose the next third. And the power of interest is that it works forever. And if you understand it, it'll pay you. But if you don't, you'll pay it. Last challenge, We'll just put it under category of big business. We are continually pushed, pulled, manipulated, poked, and prodded to separate us from our dollars. And the last third of our income is extracted both in those moments of emergency, but also systematically throughout the year. So there is a reason right now that all the restaurants that you see as you pass along the strip have those red and yellow undertones. It's because they've done the research to know that that triggers a hunger response in your body. But beyond that, on a monthly basis, there's an overall effort to make sure to extract the rest of the money from our lives through holidays. Normally, if you think about the month of March, if we were not right in the middle of the corona crisis, this would be spring break time. We'd already be packing bags, going off to spring break. And then the next month in April, so we're in March, then April would be Easter. Then in May, there's Mother's Day. Then June, there's Father's Day. July, you've got the 4th of July. And then in August, you got back to school. September, Labor Day, literally a holiday celebrating the fact that we work. Then Halloween, followed by November. Now notice the holidays at the end of the year, third and fourth quarter of the year. The holiday is Thanksgiving, a day of gratitude and thanks. But big business invented Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Brown Thursday as ways to get additional spend through just an emotionally drawing people into the next holiday. So third and fourth quarter of the year, Christmas and New Year's. You come back around to January, you got New Year's Day. February, there's Valentine's Day. And look, 12 months later, we're back around the spring break. Every month, at the end of the month, a cycle of spending to extract the last 1/3 of our income. Now, Lao Tzu, he's the author of The Art of War. He said, if you know your enemy and you know yourself, you need not fear defeat in 1,000 battles. Now that we know our enemy, the 4 challenges that we face, on number 3 on your paper, if you're taking notes, there's 3 financial solutions. 3 financial solutions, which we're also known as income shifting. And income shifting is simply shifting the money back to its original source. And there are 3 components to an active income shifting solution. Number 1 is increasing your cash flow. Number 2, building a business income, a tax sheltered business income. And third, developing investment income so that eventually money can replace you. Now, there are 3 reasons that this is powerful. One is the tax treatment of each of these entities. I'm going to break down really quickly the components of income shifting and then talk about how it helps everyone achieve their 2 objectives. So first, when you to increase your cash flow, build business income and investment income, you got to understand that the average person working today, we got to find a way to keep from losing 28 to 33% of our income through taxes. And that's just the way it works. If you go to a job and you got a W-2, 28 to 33% is taken up front before you get an opportunity to spend. So the first thing that we'll do is identify a strategy that'll help us minimize that tax hit. Second, we're going to minimize expenses. Third, we're going to minimize debt. And last but not least, we're going to increase the credit score so that we can reduce your cost of living. Now, at the same time, we want to put in place a structure to allow you to have business income for 2 reasons. Number 1 is the tax benefit. Businesses are taxed at 18 to 25%, meaning they're taxed much less than as an employee, but also it's the way that they're taxed. See, as an employee, I work, I'm taxed, and I get to spend what's left. Businesses get to work, spend what they need, and then they're taxed on what's left. And they use it to maximum effect. One of the great examples that we talk about is how Amazon made billions of dollars for years, but paid no income tax because they invested or spent all of their money and had little or nothing left to be taxed on. So it allows us to be tax efficient first, but also by having a home-based business, we're able to write off a portion of our lifestyle. Think about it. Everyone on this call either has a cell phone or the internet, right? If you have a home-based business, those are tax deductions. If you don't, those are bills. So being able to write off a percentage of your home, your utilities, the mileage that you drive, even employing your kids, do you know that each child is able to have $12,000 in income before they're taxed? Imagine being able to lower your taxable income by $12,000 per person with your last name going in your refrigerator. We'll talk about that strategy later. And then last but not least, there's investment income. This is the goal for everything, is to get to a place where we have replaced you at work with money. The tax treatment of investments is even more powerful. See, investments are taxed at 15%, and we're able to do things to be taxed through what's called capital gains, while at the same time building real assets. And the most important investment that you can make is in yourself. So as we talk about the three strategies, so if you're counting down on your notes, we have 4 challenges that everybody faces every day: inflation, taxes, debt, and big business. 3 strategies to overcome those challenges by increasing cash flow, building business income, and developing investment income to attain 2 goals. See, I don't know your personal situation or where you want to be in life, but for our money, it has to serve 2 objectives. Your income has to first pay for your current lifestyle, and that's based on your labor. During your working years, you need to make enough money to take care of living the way that you want to live. But eventually, no matter how good you are at what you do or how much you like it, one day, all of us are going to need to sit down where we either no longer want to or are able to work, and our future lifestyle has to be taken care of by our investments. Those structures that they put in place back in the previous generation with Social Security and pensions no longer exist for us. We have to be in a position to have invested well enough to take care of our future lifestyle. So the 2 goals: current lifestyle by your labor, future lifestyle by your investments. And there's one company that we've identified and partnered with that allows us to do those things, and it's MWR Financial, Making Wealth Real Financial. And the idea, if you think about what we have the opportunity to do here, and we're so new with the things that we're done, that most people have not heard of what we do, of Making Wealth Real. But let me show you the benefits. Within Making Wealth Real Financial, they've put together a system of tools that help with each of the challenges that we have to face all day, every day. So on your notes, after number 1, that company, there's the Financial Edge membership. The Financial Edge membership consists of 4 components: Money Max, Credit Max, Equity Max, and Wealth Max. Money Max, Credit Max, Equity Max, and Wealth Max. It gives us a way to play man-to-man defense against each of the challenges that are out there against us. With Money Max, you get the benefit of expert assistance in reducing your taxes. We're not talking about tax evasion, but ethically, morally, legally reducing taxes and getting to the place where we're paying as little in taxes as possible. Hang on a second. I just wanted to check to see who is on there. Now, Coco, you did a Money Max adjustment on your W-4. Is that correct? Are you muted?
Yes, that is correct. Absolutely.
Awesome. Would you mind sharing with us your story?
Well, I contacted Credit Max, and I'm sorry, did you say Credit Max?
Money Max.
Money Max. Okay. I contacted Money Max. They told me what to do. Plugged in all my information, and within by my next paycheck, I saw an increase of $100.
$100 per pay period. And how often do you get paid?
2 weeks.
Get paid every 2 weeks. So $200 extra in your paycheck the next week. And it's been there ever since?
Yes.
Now, a question about that extra $200. Did you have to go in and ask for a raise?
Absolutely not.
Did you have to work any overtime?
Absolutely not.
All you had to do was get an adjustment to get properly allowed to take the money that's yours. Because here's what happens for most people. Turns out that according to the IRS, 80% of the population has their W-4 filled out incorrectly. Now, the result of that is that the IRS gets to keep our money interest-free for months and years while we suffer through debt trying to get to the place where we're able to get access to our own funds. Does that make sense? So in Money Max, so congratulations, everybody give Coco a hand virtually, all of you around the world. But now here's the other thing that we're able to do. With those experts, you got enrolled agents that help us legally record all of the proper and appropriate information so that we can deduct our lifestyle. But then that takes us to the next area, which is Credit Max, where we have actual experts that restore, enhance, and rebuild your credit. You don't have to learn credit. They walk you through a process where you upload the information and they give you ongoing updates as your credit improves. Now, here's what happens when your credit improves. Number one, your bills go down. Turns out that in addition to your loans, your credit cards, your mortgages and car notes, things like your automobile insurance and homeowners insurance are also tied to your credit score. Turns out that my credit score, when I got started with the credit repair process, it lingered around 690. I was one of those people who was a good person. I paid my bills, but I'd had some oopses along the way. Anybody out here ever have a oops? But over time, applying the credit strategies was able to drive that credit score from 690 to 780. And they say over the next 60 to 30 days, I'll be in the 800 range. Now, I never thought I could have credit like that, but I'm excited about it. Does that make sense? Now, you also have Equity Max, which is our debt elimination system that reduces the time and the amount of interest that you'll need to pay in order, the amount of time that you'll spend in debt. It has an ongoing system and process for letting you know systematically what to pay and how to pay so that you pay as little interest as possible and get out of debt years sooner. If I had stayed on my creditor's plan, I'd be in debt through 2037. But thanks to Equity Max, they showed me a plan where I can reduce my time in debt from another 37 years to 8.5, debt-free, including the mortgages. And then last but not least, especially in a time like this, Wealth Max, you schedule a consultation with the experts and they share concepts like land banking and private reserve accounts. I'm so excited about the changes that that's made financially for many people, because now we get an opportunity to ride the growth of the market without being subject to the risks that everyone's facing as they go in and look at 401ks that, based on what's happening in the market right now, might look like 911ks. Now, so that is the membership. Now, if you think about all the things that we've talked about, the opportunity to repair your credit, to have experts work with you specifically on increasing your take-home pay, and at the same time reducing your debts at a rapid rate, all of those things together could cost thousands of dollars. But today, I want you to know that the membership, to take advantage of the opportunity that we're a part of right now, it's $228 to start and $119 for the ongoing maintenance of your business. Now, you might be saying, well, what's the business? Well, the business, we do three things. We share the business, we take advantage of the membership, and then we get paid when we educate people about what we do. Now, the company pays us 10 different ways. I'm not going to go into all of them tonight. I'll just hit on a couple to let you know how simple this is. Just say, for the sake of this conversation, you liked what you saw in the business, you got started in business, and you shared the business with me. It's safe to say that I get started with you, right? I'm excited. I needed to do some different things. So I get started, and then you help me identify three people. Three people get started with me in business. The company pays $150 for that activity. Does that make sense? That puts you at level one, but now something I've never seen. I've been in this industry for years and have not been able to make this kind of income with this size team. But with just 3 individuals, you now are entitled to $5 per day guaranteed residual pay. Now, I know you might be saying to yourself, $5, that's not that much money. But in real life, if it was $5 outside by your car tomorrow, would you pick it up? If it was there again the next day, would you pick it up the next day? If after 5 days, that $5 was not there, you'd start to miss it, wouldn't you? Well, that's what happened for me. I got started. I identified 3 people, helped them get started in business, and then helped their 3 people get started, just a team of 12 people. And that put me on level 2. So I'm really brand new in this business. Small team, but now generating $20 per day in daily guaranteed residual income. Now, again, $600 won't retire anybody on this phone. Let me share so that you can see what I'm saying. This is my back office right now. $600 won't retire anybody on this phone, yes or yes. But would it help? Would it help to
Sure
know?
will.
But it would help to know that you have, in addition to what's coming in from your place of employment, your work, an extra $300. But then here's the beauty of what happens next. As we help other people build, as those next 3 identify their 3, the next level of daily guaranteed pay is $30 a day. Now you can see right here, I'm currently star level 2, 76% of the way to star level 3, which would be $30 a day or $900 a month. Now, between you and me, I've seen organizations built to thousands, but just to be in a place where I have something consistent to count on, to be in addition to what we're doing at work and to push towards my investments. They also pay a luxury vehicle bonus in tiers. I'm on the way to the $500 level, but they go 500, 1,250 up to 3,000. Oh, by the way, let me back up. There's 7 levels. I'm just on level 2. I'm telling you, I'm excited, but getting started. The daily guaranteed pay goes anywhere from $5 a month up to, $5 a day up to $1,000 a day, which is $30,000 a month. And I put the range out there just so that if you know, like you know, that building something that you can do from home, since now suddenly a whole lot of people are going to be working from home for the foreseeable future, that generates that extra above and beyond, and have someone else take care of your car note. If it took you a year, 2 years, would it be worth it? And that, just to put the crown on the cake, and we'll leave this last part of compensation, they have a presidential bonus up to $100,000 per month. Now, I don't know who that's for, but I want you to know that somewhere between some extra income, replacement income, and an exceptional income, it's all here available with Making Wealth Real Financial. And we're so early in the game that the biggest players haven't even found out about it yet, but they will, and they'll probably find out through someone on this line. Does that make sense? Now, I know one thing that people will always say, so let me say this last thing, one last thing about the overall process. At this point, I've shared enough for people to have an idea if they want to know more about taking advantage of what we do. It turns out that in our world, there's only 3 categories of people that see this presentation. From what I've shared right now, category number 3 looks at it and says, it looks good, sounds good, but for whatever reason, it's not for me. Category number 2 says, I have some questions, or I just want to take advantage of the membership. I'm not necessarily looking to generate some additional income, but I do want to maximize the amount of money that comes into my life. I want to max out my credit score, and I want to have maximum equity and ownership in everything in my life by eliminating my debts completely, and to take all of that and build wealth for the next generation for my family. For those people, I do have a discount. If you only want to be a customer, participate in the Financial Edge membership, have the experts help you with your situation. It's only $79 a month to be a member. But for those in category number 1 that are like me and my brother, when we saw this, when we understood the power that we have to help people through the crisis that we're in, because my mentor taught me there's always cash in chaos. When people are fearful, that's the time to be greedy. And when people are greedy, that's the time to be fearful. Right now is the time for us to be greedy about how many people we can help get to the place where money is working harder than them. Back to one point, in all the years that I've done any business in this area, there's been only one category of things that would have someone look at this, hear it, and say it makes sense, and still say it's not for me. And it's one of 3 things. Number 1, that person doesn't understand it. Number two, they don't believe it. Or number three, just for whatever reason at the time, they don't have the money. I want to make sure to address those so that we don't get confused about value of what we're seeing. If you don't understand it, don't worry. I didn't understand it at first. I'm still learning exciting things about money and the money process thanks to MWR on a daily basis. We have an ongoing training and support system that gives individuals the ability to earn as they learn. I mean, if you think about your job, on first day of our job, we didn't know everything that we needed to know to do the job, did we? But we stayed around to get the training and support till we understood enough to get paid. Category number two says, well, I may not believe it. Don't believe it. Don't believe. But here's what you do believe. If you believe that there are people that are experts at taxes that do it all day, every day, that they would have a better vantage point for improving your situation, just believe enough to believe that it could happen for you. They say, some people say it's too good to be true, but if it's good and it's true, why not for you? And then that last category, if you don't have the money, don't worry. This session, this presentation is not about the money that you have right now. It's the money that you're missing and the opportunity that we have to generate it together. If you're interested and money is an issue, let's take the time to get the education. And what I found is that the universe rewards positive action, intention, and direction. Keep learning, keep trusting, keep growing, keep knowing, and we can go to the next level. So that's my time. I'm going to get out of here. But before I do, let me point out that we do have a Financial Edge University training class tomorrow evening that'll focus on one aspect of our wealth system, which is particularly relevant to our industry today. And that is the idea of private reserve accounts, private banking, where you can learn to become your own bank, to issue loans to yourself, to grow when the market grows, but to lose not a dollar when the market shrinks. That call will be at 8:30 Eastern time. Let the person who invited you to the call today know three things. Let them know what number you are and that you want further information and education. My name is Richard Hardon. It has been my plum pleasing pleasure as well as my privilege to share the MWR opportunity with you. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you.